Good afternoon. Thank you for coming out today. What's up, Nate? We appreciate it. One thing I got to cover tomorrow, if you do not know, tomorrow afternoon at 2 o'clock is the Unstoppable press conference. It is our lineup from April through June. All the fighters will be there, and we'll be announcing those big fights tomorrow at the MGM Grand Garden Arena, 2 o'clock. Who has the first question? Give somebody a mic.
Question for Nate Diaz. Nate, this arguably one of the biggest fights of your career, if not the biggest. I know you've been frustrated in the past with contract situations and not getting big fights. Do you feel like you're finally at that point where you wanted to be, and did you feel like you were always going to get here?
Yeah, I think it was coming, but I just need to announce myself a little more and make more of a scene. So it took time, but now we're here.
The another question for Nate. The 2 losses on Conor McGregor's record are via submission. Do you feel like your jiu-jitsu would make the difference in this fight on Saturday night?
What was the question?
Yes, the 2 losses on Conor McGregor's record are via submission. Do you feel like your jiu-jitsu may make the difference on Saturday night?
Yeah, we're gonna fight and find out.
Question for the champion, Conor McGregor. Conor, in recent press conferences, you've been using a lot of terms like we and us when you talk about the promotion. Is that indicative of how much of a partner you feel like with the UFC right now and how much weight you bring to the table financially?
There should be Dana's podium, there should be my podium, and then there should be this little thing that's going on. So I am neck and neck. I bring a hell of a lot to the table. And that's it. I have a great relationship, great business, but we are neck and neck, eye to eye, creating these historical events.
Along those same lines, Conor, at the last press conference, you were promising to launch an investigation into who was running the poster department. Did that investigation conclude? Has somebody been held accountable?
You seen the new poster, right? I mean, straight away, there was a new poster created, rightfully so. You know, I spoke sense, they listened, and the poster department got it together. So I was very pleased with that. You know, once the work gets done, you won't hear from me.
And if I can, one quick question for the ladies, Holly and Miesha. Holly first, if I can. Holly, in your preparation for this fight, do you feel like Miesha Tate is the best pure wrestler that you have trained to face, and did your training reflect that leading up to this camp?
I think out of the division, that's definitely her background, but she's still not afraid to get into, the jiu-jitsu scrambles. She's still not afraid to be in the clinch. She's still not afraid to stand and bang. So I just want to be ready for whatever, wherever the fight goes, I want to be ready for it. I don't want to just be, as long as it's on the feet, I'm fine. I want to be ready for wherever the fight goes.
And same to Miesha. Did you feel like in your preparation leading up to this fight that you were more focused than you had ever been on a pure striking opponent, or did it seem any different at all?
Well, you can't be too focused on one thing because this is MMA, so you never know what to expect, and I've learned that through time and time again. I didn't think that Sarah McMahon would go out there and hit me so hard with an overhand right, so you have to be prepared for everything and anything in this sport, and I'm sure there's more tools that we haven't seen from Holly, so I'm prepared for everything.
Thanks.
For Nate, please. In the build-up to this fight, a lot of the focus has been on Conor's size, him bulking up and getting ready for 170. You've fought in the welterweight division before. As you've seen him this week and kind of sized him up, what do you think? I mean, does he match up with those guys size-wise, strength-wise, and do you think he can compete at 170 pounds?
We'll see what happens. I don't know. I fought 170 before too, and I felt great. I felt faster, better, stronger. So he'll probably feel the same way coming up in weight, but I feel great at this weight too. So that's my thoughts.
Thanks, Nate. And for Conor, we've never seen a guy make the kind of moves that you're making. A featherweight champion moving up, 2 divisions to take a fight. Tell us what it is. What is it about you? What is it about other people that you're willing to take these type of challenges where we've never seen somebody in the past say, I'll take that type of risk?
I don't know. There's a lot of people that play it safe in the game. I think, although I think there's many scared pussies in the fight game, if I'm being honest. They don't take risks, and people who don't take risks will never climb to that next level. I take risks all the time. Every single fight I've taken a risk, and I continue to do so. The fans show up here every time. They pay their hard-earned money to travel across. People pull out of fights, and then the other opponent just scraps the whole card with only thinking about themselves while they sit in their comfortable home, while the fans have saved up money and been hyped for an event, and they are happy to just let the card be flushed down the toilet. But me, I appreciate the fan support. I enjoy showing up and giving them a show, and that's it. And I love to fight. I love to fight. This man, let's see can he fight? Let's see can he bring a fight? He's talked a lot. He has talked subtly. There's been subtle digs over
seen me fight.
There's subtle digs over the years. But now, as the fight comes closer, he's like a scared little boy, trying to pass the spotlight off, trying to pass the spotlight onto Nick, trying to pass the spotlight onto Hickson and his son.
Bullshit, they got
Even that
opinions
little
on you
skinny,
too. They
even
got
that
their
little
opinions on
skinny
you
twerp.
too.
Even that little skinny twerp that he does the open workout. He even tried to plug him at the last press
And
conference.
he'll beat your ass too.
Exactly. He's trying to
Fuck you
he's
up
trying
too.
to pass the limelight. That's what a man does when he's scared. He tries to he shies away and tries to pass it on. So that's what you're seeing with Nate. But he's talked a lot previous. Said he was going to do this and going to do that. Now we're up here, we're doing this, and he is saying absolutely nothing. He's sitting in a little shell. So let's see what he's got.
And just quickly, if I could, for Dana.
He even tried to pick on John Anik the other day. He has a bully mentality until a real man shows up. Like Mike Tyson said, he's scared of a real man.
John Anik, fuck you. How about that?
Just real quickly, if I could, for Dana. Dana, we were talking with Conor yesterday. I know he's got a big challenge in front of him here, but we were saying, if you win here, what makes sense? And he says, honestly, a welterweight title fight might make a lot of sense. We don't know when Dos Anjos is going to be back. Would you be open to considering him fighting for the title at 170 pounds, or is that too much even for Conor McGregor?
I'm open to whatever he's considering doing. I mean, if he wants to fight at 170 and he wants to fight Robbie Lawler, Conor is tough to deny these days. So, nobody's ever done this. 145 pounds going to 170, and it's one of those things when you talk about these guys that when the money's in the bank and all the things are going on, they have all this opportunity. Conor really does step up and fight anybody, anywhere, anytime. It's impressive, it's fun, and this is what makes you love the fight business.
Question for Holly. Holly, your last fight, you were going for a championship. The pressure was intense because you had to prove yourself, a lot of doubters. What is the pressure like this time around in your first title defense?
I feel like every fight has a lot of pressure because I put it on myself. My last fight, a lot of people would tell me, you have nothing to lose, She has everything to lose, you have nothing to lose. I'm like, I put a lot of hard work in. I have everything to lose. I don't care what the odds say on the paper. I'm capable of winning this fight. And now that everybody's seen the performance I had last, the expectations are even higher. So there's even more pressure, maybe from everybody else, but still the same pressure I put on myself. For every fight, I always feel pressure because I want to do well for my team that has helped me to get there. I want to perform for them and make all the hard work worth something.
And also, Miesha, what kind of pressure is it for you? I mean, you've been here trying to get the title. Now you got your shot. And you saw what happened in that last fight. What is it like for you?
I hate the word pressure, really, because I feel like that is indicative of something negative. I feel confident in this fight, and I feel like there's just a lot of positive motivation going into this fight. I feel like there's a lot of good energy going into this fight, and pressure is something that comes along with it, but you have to learn to turn that into motivation. You have to turn that into food to motivate you to do well. And so I just thrive in that. I've been doing this for a long time. I've been fighting for nearly a decade, and here I am at the top, at the pinnacle, and getting ready to fight for the title again. So, yeah, I welcome it.
And just quickly for the guys, Conor, growing up, you back up a lot of stuff that you say, and it reminds me of Muhammad Ali. Who was your combat champion growing up for you, who you looked up to?
This is a question we get asked all the time, and I take inspiration and motivation from absolutely everything and anything. You know, people chasing their dream, putting their head down, working hard. For me, obviously, Muhammad Ali was probably my first combat sports star that I looked up to. You know, I'd never seen anything like that, and I was fascinated by him growing up. But I've been shaped by many people. But thank you for that compliment again. It's a comparison that's been thrown at me a few times, but I cannot accept a comparison like that. Muhammad Ali is a special man. He done things that are unthinkable. He changed culture. Period. So, but again, I am honored to even be put in that bracket by some people. So thank you.
And Nate, you're boxing champion, you're fighting champion when you were growing up. Anybody you looked up to?
Yeah, I liked a lot of watch Mike Tyson and big time in Hicks and Gracie, Hoist, Henzo, the Gracie family was real inspiring for me. I got the video. My brother had a video choke when I was 15 years old, and he was already training, and he put that on, and I'd sit up at night and I'd watch that movie, and it put me off on a run or working out, and that was real inspiring for me.
So Conor, last year the UFC made record revenues. They broke the $600 million revenue bracket for the first time. You headlined 2 of the 3 biggest cards of the year. How important are you to the UFC business-wise? Well,
in 21, 22 years or whatever, I think it's 21 years, something the company's has started, and 2015 was its biggest year. I mean, who was 2015? That was everything got to do with me. So, you know, even look at Nate's last fight, 20,000 to show, 20,000 to win. Not even a win bonus. His full check wasn't even a performance of the night bonus. Now he's at the pop in his cherry, and he's going to make his first million here. So, he really should be thankful and be grateful for this opportunity that I am giving him.
You should be thankful too. You got a bigger check now than fighting Dos Anjos. Been a little penny check with that.
My check. Don't talk about money. You're broke. I could easily switch you up now and go put you back on that 20 and 20 if you want. But all I want is a thank you, or even a little dance.
You're welcome.
Even a little dance. Dance for me, Nate. Dance for me, and don't look me in the eye when you dance.
So we saw last year, so they passed the $600 million mark. Still a long way to go with the big 3 professional sports leagues in North America, with the $1 billion mark perhaps being the next big one. Can one person take the UFC past that $1 billion mark? And if so, are you the man to do it?
Sorry, one more time. Go again.
So last year the UFC passed $600 million for the first time. Still a long way to go in terms of the other major North American sports leagues, with $1 billion perhaps being the next big mark. Can one man get the UFC?
100%, and I am that man. I am the man. I mean, if you look at the analytical evidence, the numbers continue to rise on all channels, even the embedded series. The numbers keep, although the platform is stagnating a little bit. I think it needs to go a different route on that one. But all the channels and all the numbers continue to rise. The gates, the pay-per-views. You're damn right I'll hit that billion mark. I mean, I did say I would do it, and I will do it.
Is there a risk for Lorenzo in the UFC that Conor McGregor can become bigger than the UFC?
You know, I'm not trying to be bigger than nobody I'm just trying to be me, and I am with this company. That's it. The UFC. It's a company and a promotion that I've been passionate about. It got me. This company got me into the game. So to be rising up and to be neck and neck is where I want to be. Maybe in time I will climb and take that lion's share of the pie, but we will always be still together. You know, I will be with Zuffa until the day that I walk away from the game, 100%.
And for just a couple for Holly. So when you knocked out Ronda Rousey, you didn't just take the bantamweight title, you took out one of the promotion's most popular fighters they've ever had. Has there been more pressure for you, or have you felt more pressure this time being the champion and having to take more of that promotional load?
I guess I really don't think about it too much. I just want to go in and win. That's what I went for my last fight, and that's what I want to do for this fight. And I think in doing so and being passionate about winning, that's what I want to do. I love to fight, and that's what I'm here for. So I think with that passion, that shows in, the performance, and in turn, that does something good for the company, for the sport as a whole.
A question for Conor McGregor, first of all. Conor, there used to be a very large poster of Floyd Mayweather on the front of the MGM Grand. Is there a target for you you're headlining for the
I might go up there and rip it down myself. And what's he gonna do about it? What's he gonna do? He can do nothing. So, I'll rip that down after this press conference.
You're headlining at the MGM Grand for the third time in a row. Will your poster be up there? Is Mystic Mac going to predict your poster will be up 30 stories?
I mean, I know the people in the MGM are singing all the way to the bank. So, I mean, maybe I should be. Maybe take out that lion statue and put in an Irish lion. You know what I mean? Put me up there standing there. I don't know. They are setting up the new stadium. I look forward to it. I like Vegas. I did say in an interview that I'm feeling. Vegas is wearing on me. But when I come here, and I came here a couple of days ago, I actually do really, really enjoy Vegas. I've buried 3 bodies clean out here. So Saturday night will be a 4th body, and I enjoy it. Vegas is good to me. The dirt is clean. You can scoop it up and stuff bodies in there easily, so I will continue to do that.
In December at the press conference here ahead of the Jose Aldo fight, you gave us a very clear prediction on what you would do with him falling into the space between you when you fought, and you did exactly that and knocked him out in 13 seconds. What's Mystic Mac saying? What's he predicting for Saturday night against Nate Diaz?
I'm certainly going to toy with the young boy. I'm going to play with him. His entries and his exits, his retreats, his feints, his patterns are all identical. He can't break out of his set routine, so he is very, very predictable. I think the speed, people gave Jose the speed advantage, but that was a mistake. When the fight began, I had the clear speed advantage. I was light on my feet, zipped in and out. I think it will be very, very evident the speed difference. I also know he's heavy on his lead foot, but really, now he's like an injured gazelle, and he's more heavy on his left foot. So these are subtle tells that I tell. So I'm going to go in and play with him. There are many, many shots. The Mea Lua, the 360 roundhouse, the soft body on him. He has a soft, flabby body like he was a fat guy.
You got it all figured out, but who do you train with?
He's a soft.
You have no training
doesn't
partners.
matter.
You have no boxing,
You're trying to pass the line.
No
like,
grappling.
I train with this guy. Look at him. Go video him. Get that camera away from me.
You got tapped out by
That's a
2
sign of a man who's
guineas that
scared
I've
for
never
his
even heard
life.
of.
Man up and be yourself.
Right.
You're like a gazelle, bunched up together, hoping that
no
you get
training
spared.
partners.
But
Where's
I'm
your
a
credential
lion.
at? You knocked out midgets.
I'm a lion in there, and I'm
Short,
gonna eat
little
you
people.
alive. Your little gazelle friends are gonna be staring through the cage, looking at you, getting your carcass getting eaten alive, and they can
All
do
figured
nothing.
out, huh,
All they're gonna
motherfucker?
do is say,
No training
"We're never
partners
gonna
at
cross
all.
this river again."
Where's your boxing? Who do you train with? You got that little goofy motherfucker with you?
You got that skinny
I'm training
little
for real.
twerp,
No, I
that
got
little
real
skinny
training partners.
bitch
I
at the
do real
open
camps with
workout.
real training
Who do you
partners.
train with?
Top
I'd slap
10
the head off your
fighters,
whole team
top
one by
10
one. You and
boxers,
your big brother.
Top 10
You and your big
jiu-jitsu guys. Top 10 kickboxers. You're playing touch butt with that dork in the park, the ponytail. And I'm the one who ain't got no training partner. I don't think so. You seem to have it all figured out when you're fighting midgets. You got shit.
Bring your training partners in. You're gonna need them.
My whole team will fucking beat your whole team's ass. How about that?
Okay.
A JV squad on my team will beat your team's ass.
Question for you, Nate. Question for you, Nate. Do you get through all of this that that Conor is taking you too lightly? He may be underestimating you?
Look at my lineup. Who's my last 20 fights compared to his fights?
Final question for Conor. Conor, you've talked about your 2 breakfasts. You know, that you've been able to munch on steak. You don't have to worry about what you're eating this week. Has this been the easiest fight week of your career in terms of preparing for weigh-in day?
It's certainly been enjoyable. It's been different, you know, to wake up and to have a choice of food and to be able to eat out. And, you know, I'm almost living just a normal... I feel like this is just a training week, a spar. This feels like a spar to me. It will feel like a spar on Saturday night when I go in there. There's been no adjustment of any kind. It's simply going in as I am. And that's a very beautiful feeling, you know. That is ultimately what it should be. And that's why when Nate was crying about the weight, he wanted 160 and he wanted 165. I said, relax, Nate, eat that extra meal and go 170. So
I said yes to 155. While they procrastinated, then I said 170.
Dana, did he say yes to 155?
Yes.
Did what?
Did he say yes to 155? Well, there you go. That's it. There you go. There you go. 170.
What?
The first day we talked, I said yes to 155. When you called back, I said
170 was my call. The next day I said, you know, nothing's changed. You guys want to call back?
You don't make any calls. You only answer the call. That's
we
it.
find out 170.
That's it.
Hey, and then he tried to get it to 160, and now we're at 170. So don't act like it was your call, motherfucker. I'm calling that shot.
Call no shots, Nate. Let's be honest here. You call absolutely nothing. You sit there.
Why'd you try to
you're told
fight
what to do and
160?
you do it.
Why'd you try to fight at 160 then? Okay. Argument done.
Why is the fight at 170? I said 170.
Because I called it.
Because your fat ass needed to get comfortable. I wanted you to put your feet up.
You can need a fight. You need a fight in a week. That's why.
Question for Dana White. Dana over here. Dana, when you took the call 2 weeks ago and heard that Rafael dos Anjos was out, did it ever cross your mind to try and convince Conor to maybe not take the fight this weekend and just wait until UFC 200 for the bigger show?
No, listen, as soon as we called Conor and told him that Dos Anjos was out, he said, I'm going to the gym right now. I'll fight anybody. Call me tomorrow and let me know who you thinking. And that was the same thing he said when we walked into his house when Jose Aldo was out, when he was here in Vegas. Literally didn't care. It's very rare. You don't see that, ever.
Question for Conor. Conor, yesterday at the open workouts, you said to me to send a message to back home. You said, don't blink, because I'm going to come out the gates fast. What would you actually prefer on Saturday night? A 13-second knockout or a longer fight where you can showcase your skills?
You know, skill-wise, I made a big jump from the Mendes performance to the Aldo performance. I felt technical-wise, and from the Aldo fight even to this also. But I didn't get to show a lot of that because the fight was over so quick. So part of me does want to stretch it out that little bit and show the fans some new sequences, some new movements, some new forms of attack and defense. I just hope Nate can last. You know, he is tough. He's never been KO'd. He's been TKO'd. So I'm hoping he can last later into the first round and maybe into the second, hopefully. But I can't hold my breath. When I come out fast and spinning and attacking crazy, unpredictable, they shell up. People shell up. They become panic grapplers. That's what I face all the time. So I just hope for the fans' sake Nate can show up and that's it.
And again, just to follow up for Conor. Conor is talking to the press today, fights with Floyd Mayweather, fights with Robbie Lawler. But what is the one fight you actually want? What is the dream fight for Conor McGregor?
The dream fight, you know, there isn't really, you know. I'd love to fight myself if I really could. I mean, imagine the numbers that one would do if there was two of me.
Question for Nate over here. It's interesting to note that in your long UFC career, over here, Nate, to your right, I think. In your long UFC career, this is your first time headlining a UFC pay-per-view. Has it been? I know it's been a pretty short ride to get to this point, but do you sense a difference, and do you like it?
I get paid better.
Okay. And you mentioned that you think that they had an inkling that this was going to happen, that they kind of knew before the whole thing materialized. Did you have an inkling as well? Did you have a feeling that RDA would pull out and that they would call you eventually?
I wasn't gonna sit around and wait for it or anything because they call me for every time somebody pulls out on this guy. I think they were a little more aware they were fighting me than I was aware they were gonna fight him. But I was aware I was gonna fight him eventually anyway. So.
Is there any truth to that, Conor? Did you have an inkling as well that this would go down like it has?
All you had to do was look at the Sanyos. Look at him sitting up there at that last one. History repeats itself, and he was just a slower, sloppier, bum version of Aldo. Mentally weaker, physically slower, sloppier, everything. So it was obvious it was going to happen almost. You know what I mean? And I told them all I always tell them, prepare, because people pull out on me. People don't go through a full camp of meat. It's especially people of that caliber. So Nate had an idea in his head, like I had an idea in my head, that something can happen and we can fight anybody. That's what this game is, you know. People run scared all the time. You know, Nate is always talking about people don't want to fight him and they're scared to fight him. And he's right, like the likes of Pettis and all these people, they are probably running from him, but I've hunted him down. I stalked him like my prey. And now I have him. On Saturday night, I will eat his carcass in front of his little gazelle friends, and they can do absolutely nothing.
And Conor, in December, when he went on the mic after his win in Orlando and said what he had to say, were you watching that live? And if so, what did you make of, in particular, his comments that, you know, you're taking everything that he's been working for and whatnot?
I enjoyed the outburst. You know, it was real from him. It was coming from a real emotion, and you could see that, and I enjoyed it. But as far as me taking everything he's worked for, I am a workhorse. I have worked and built and climbed this ladder through hard work and through dedication. So I have taken nothing from nobody. I have built myself up and become who I am through myself. So, but I enjoyed it. I thought it amused me, and it leaped.
Yeah, maybe they were
ahead.
just giving everything I worked for to you.
Say what?
Maybe they're giving all that shit to you.
I've KO'd
the real
everybody I fought.
workhorse is right here.
I
I've been
KO
hustling
everybody
in
I
this
fought.
motherfucker. Real work.
I get in and I knock people out, break records, work non-stop, play the game, and run the game. You know, he's sitting, complained and whined, and the game is past him, and he feels bitterness towards that. That is what happens to somebody. You know, when they have that mindset, they slip down. But I have taken nothing from nobody. I have came up and built through my own. So, but the whole outburst amused me, and it got him here. It made him that paycheck. So, congratulations on that one.
Okay, and one last quick one for you, Conor. I couldn't help but notice, and I apologize if I'm looking too far into things, but you did shave your head after your last fight. And in talking to your team, they said that this is sort of a throwback to the early Conor McGregor. That's how you used to, you know, have your hair, and this was sort of a something turning in your mind, like you were going back.
TMZ covered it, I thought.
Did they? I missed that one.
I don't know, but they are these days. I mean,
what does it signify?
Well, it signifies nothing. I just was looking in the mirror saying, I don't want to wake up, my hair's fucking annoying me. See you later. That's it. You know what I mean? But that's all it signifies. I mean, I didn't like my hair that day, so I shaved it. So I'll grow it back, and hopefully I like it when it grows back.
Fair enough.
This is for Holly. Holly, I know you're confident in any time you step into, whether it was the ring or the octagon, but what does the team do for you to help in that confidence where you're kind of ready for any scenario?
I truly, truly feel like I train with the best team ever. And it's not just, you know, this fight. It's not just one fighter. I'm surrounded by a lot of champions in our gym, and it drives me. It makes me makes me motivated to want to kind of just show them what their support for me and their time in me has done. And I feel like when you're surrounded by greatness, how do you not feel like you're ready for something great? And I wouldn't have, there's no way I would be able to be where I'm at without them. They push me every day. They know I want them to push me. I don't want it to be, you know, going soft on me in practice. That doesn't help me at all. They push me hard, and it helps me be prepared.
Holly, why was it important to take this fight before perhaps a rematch with Rousey?
I was open to the rematch with Rousey. I just said, you know, I don't want to say that maybe she'll be ready in June, or maybe she'll be ready in November, or maybe she'll be ready. You know, it was one of those things that I had sat down actually before this fight was set up. Talked to Lorenzo just at one of the fights just for a second, you know, and I just said, you know, I want you guys to know I'm ready for whatever. You know, if it's going to be a rematch, great. If it's going to be Tate, great. But I just want to make sure that it's not, oh, 3 more months, 3 more months, 3 more months, 3 more months. I said, if it's going to be a year, I don't want to wait till November to fight, because that means that's going to be a year off from my last fight. I'm here because I'm passionate about fighting. I don't want to sit down and say, oh, well, this looks more like the way to go because this is more strategic. I just want to fight, and if it's going to be a while, I'd like to fight sooner than later. I told myself when I got in this sport, passion first, everything else falls into place. And I'm just passionate about the sport, and that's where I want my focus to be. So I said, what's next? If it's not going to be, you know, the rematch right away, then let's do something else. And whatever opportunity came is what I wanted. I didn't care who it was.
You still going?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Miesha, what's this time like where you're so close to an opportunity to perhaps win the title?
It's pretty awesome. I'm enjoying it. You know, I learned that I can't take this kind of situation for granted. You never know. It's not every day you get a title shot. So I've got to make the most of it. And I've really been enjoying all of this. I feel happy. I feel excited. I feel motivated. And I feel like this is my time. And I've also really enjoyed the lead up between these two. They're pretty awesome, right? They're like over here flipping each other off onto the table, and Holly and I are making each other friendship bracelets. So I'm having a great time. I respect Holly so much, you know, and I prepared with every fiber of my being because I think it would be disrespectful if I went in there and I didn't give her everything that I have to offer.
We're going to take one more question. One more.
Right here. Good, because it's extremely serious. For Nate Diaz, you talked about McGregor's training partner and playing touch butt. Can you elaborate on what touch butt is, and then explain how crucial your training partners have been to your success?
I'm just saying I train with, you know, I train with top guys. You know, I train with Conor Gracie, world champion or best jiu-jitsu guy there is. I train with Nick and Jake and Gil, top 10 MMA fighters, and Joe Schilling, top 10 kickboxer. Just all around top 10 guys, and then all I see is this guy in the park with that goofball with the ponytail.
Train with bums.
So I'm like,
Bums
who's the
you train
bums?
with.
That funny motherfucker
Juice
with
heads.
the stupid haircut?
Juice heads and
Fuck.
bums.
One of my littlest dudes slapped the shit out of that guy. What the fuck? So that's my opinion on the whole training
You talk about
situation.
slapping
He got
the sh-
nobody.
Talk about slapping the shit out of people. You slap the shit out of nobody. Remember you said about John and everything. What are you gonna said about me? You're gonna do jack shit. You're just gonna talk
You
and
ain't
talk
gonna do
and talk
shit,
until it's time,
motherfucker.
and you're
All
gonna
right.
shrink and
Yeah,
get
you're the one
knocked
talking.
out.
It's all good. There ain't shit to say. Fucking fight.
She done? Was that the end of your question?
That's all I got.
Go ahead. What do you got?
No, that's all I got.
That's it?
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much. We appreciate you. We'll see you tomorrow.
Dude, yeah. How about not cool?
No, she's pretty though. So I'm just saying, you know, in general, that's what happens. Yeah, but you know, I'm mad.
They're not coming back?
They're all shooters a year ago. Even that fucking close. Yeah, and now they're here. Hey, I'll see you tomorrow. See you later. Ron? All right.